Good Friday afternoon. Jerry Miller, welcome to the I Love CVille show. It's good to be with you. It's a reopening for much of the Commonwealth and certainly much of Central Virginia, many. And as we started the program and as I sat in this chair, 85 restaurants, breweries, wineries, and vineyards now open. In Charlottesville and Albemarle County, the majority in Albemarle County. We're going to cover that on today's program. Thank you for joining us. We're live on the I Love CVille network in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world. It's a pleasure to connect with you on the platform. It's Friday. It's nice outside. While we have uncertainty and while we're scared, businesses are opening. So we're going to talk about that with a handful of business owners today on the program, including ownership at Pro Nata. John's going to join us. And he has built, with his team, a phenomenal brand in Crozet, a family-friendly brand in Crozet. And his team is working extremely hard in Crozet to make sure the experience is safe for you at Pro Nata. We're going to get the bird's eye, ground level view today on the I Love CVille show, straight from the brewery. We're also going to touch base with Landon Saul, ownership, chef at Vivace restaurant on Ivy Road. He, in preparing for this program, we did a test with him to check audio and visual levels. Landon was on his patio. He has 4 of them, in fact, working for you to get ready for tonight and to be safe. We'll touch base with Landon today on the I Love CVille show. We love working with small business owners on this program. We love working with partners in this community. 2 partners we very much need to highlight is Interstate Pest and Service Companies and Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. Interstate is a 4-generation family business, active in the community, creating jobs, supporting nonprofits, and doing right by their clients. That's why they've had success. It's a trusted partner. They should be. Scott Wagner, the same, sports medicine, physical therapy, chiropractic care. I have watched and seen firsthand in 8 years plus of working alongside Dr. Wagner and his team, how people speak of what Dr. Wagner and his team have done for their quality of life. And it's pretty inspiring to build brands, like that. Let's cut to it. The first story, the reopening. And I think the headline, before we get to it, I'll give you the green light to put on. I'm going to give you a macro headline from CNBC. Don't do it yet. About April and the impact this has had in the economy for retail. We cover restaurants on the program because it's a restaurant-based community. Charlottesville, it's one of our bread and butters. We have not covered as closely the brick-and-mortar small retailer on the downtown mall, in Midtown, in the north wing of Barracks Road Shopping Center. They, perhaps even more so than the restaurants, have been impacted by COVID-19. Go ahead and cue the headline from CNBC, Judah. Retail sales nationally plunged a record 16.4% in April. This is the worst slide in the history of this metric. Literally. The only retailers that are doing well are the grocery stores right now. I'd like to throw this out to you. If we are not careful, you're going to see a handful of major companies like the Amazons and Walmarts and Targets of the world with strong balance sheets and a lot of cash reserves to help them through this. If we're not careful, we will soon live in a world where our retail is done by a handful of companies like the Targets, Walmarts, and Amazons, and that's it. The ones with the strong balance sheets. So careful of this, and I want you to be very mindful of the local retailer on West Main Street, on downtown, on the corner, in Barracks, on 29, whatever it may be. The local retailer has been hit harder by this than I think just about any category out there. I think you could throw in the folks that are the supply chain for weddings in this as well. I mean, the transportation companies. We work closely with one here on the show on Cameron Limousine. One of the best in the business. People aren't booking tours. You and I both know that. Okay? I spend a lot of time with the restaurants because they mean so much to me, but that does not mean that I'm not concerned and we should not be concerned about the local retailer. Support of shenanigans. Should support a green bean. Support an impeccable pig on the downtown mall. And these are just the ones that are coming to name. I'm not trying to pick favorites. Mincer's. Mincer's is on the UVA corner. Think about it, guys. You're on the UVA corner. You're an icon in Mincer's. Your entire business model is predicated and tied to home football games, graduation weekend, home basketball games, where density of passionate UVA fans are at an all-time high in Charlottesville, especially on the corner. I'm sure the Mincer family has had a break, at least some, in their rent, but we know that's not going to go forever. Eventually, if we don't figure it out, the retailers that are paying Class A rent on the corner, on the mall, and in barracks, that model is not going to be sustainable because the foot traffic business isn't there to justify and support the price points. It's such a trick, such a messy situation. So I want you to support the retailer. I want you to consider the retailer. Numbers we have never seen before. Back from the CNBC headline, this was a startling a quote that really took me aback. This was from Chris Rupke, Chief Financial Economist at MUFG Union Bank. He said this, quote, "We have never seen economic data like this before in the history of our country," end quote. And this topic has come up recently on the show and on the I Love CVille network. The thought of vacancies on a 8-block downtown mall. Our office is on Market Street, half a block off the mall. They're showing up. I'll cut to the chase. The cigar shop that is on 4th Street, it's closed for good. The cigar shop on 4th Street, the cut-through road on the downtown mall, it had a sister store in Forest Lakes. That's where the business is migrating. So the cigar shop's done. Joan Fenton has a couple of properties downtown that she owns and businesses that she also owns. Joan Fenton, she's the head of the DBAC in Charlottesville. She has closed a business and her storefront on the mall shuttered. You have a storefront by Lynn Goldman that's not open right now. Where I'm going with this is, from my experience in real estate's one of the ways we make our living. As vacancies show up and sprout and appear, they create momentum for other vacancies. When you have an occupancy rate that's close to zero, or zero in some cases downtown, it creates positive momentum and it drives consumer confidence. Consumer confidence will be shaken by vacancy rates that are upticking downtown. Consumer confidence will be shaken by vacancy rates that are coming potentially in Barracks Road Shopping Center as local businesses decide what they're going to do in Barracks with the publicly traded company and Federal Realty really not offering a lot of leeway and budge in Barracks Road Shopping Center for owners on a rent basis. So what I'm hearing, unfortunate or fortunate, and I was very intrigued by people's takes on this, what I was hearing yesterday on a Zoom call was the thought of deep-pocketed folks, businessmen and women, that have burn rate and cash reserves, making pushes and plays for buildings downtown now. And the strategy being deployed is a pursuit of a 35% reduction in price point. Basically, a building downtown that cost, what's a good example? $1 million on the Charlottesville Downtown Mall. And this $1 million building on the Charlottesville Downtown Mall on March 1 had a valuation of $1 million. These folks are pursuing it at $650,000. It's interesting because I understand that is how the machine and how capitalism works, but I don't want to go down the direction, and we don't really have a choice because that's the invisible hand. I don't want to go down this direction of people scooping up things for pennies on the dollar that have money and then changing the entire identity of something that's taken so long to build. That's my trepidation. People say, Jerry, you're all about social entrepreneurship and economy and capitalism, and this is how it goes, and I get it. People are going to see an opportunity to buy something, and people are going to sell it because they're afraid of not having a tenant in the building. They're afraid of not having the money to cover the real estate taxes. They're afraid to not have the money to cover the upkeep of the building, and they're uncertain of how long the space will remain empty. So they'll probably sell. I hate to see the identity of something change without us really having an opportunity to do something about it. We got John, ownership from Pro Renata. He's going to join us in 5 minutes on today's program, live from Pro Renata in Crozet. Landon Saul from the patio, one of 4 patios at Vivace restaurant. He's going to join us in 20 minutes. And Aleen Carey is going to join us at 1:20 from Cultivate Charlottesville to highlight her project. Comments coming in. Stephanie says, if everyone would support local businesses like they do Walmart and Lowe's Charlottesville, we would all be hopping. She's exactly right. Have you guys been in Lowe's? She's exactly right. Have you been in Lowe's on Route 29? Have you been in Lowe's at Zion's Crossroads? I made this comment the other day on the I Love CVille network. Lowe's on Route 29 might be the most dangerous place in Charlottesville right now. It is hopping with people, running everywhere without masks. The most dangerous place in Charlottesville right now might be the Lowe's on Route 29. And she's right. If we would support the Walmarts and the Lowe's, if we would support the local businesses like we're supporting the Walmarts and the Lowe's, we wouldn't have headlines like we just saw. Put it back on screen there. Judah, she says it is very scary. Taylor Dudley says this, Jerry, you are right. Target is absolutely killing it. I have a family member working there, and they are almost doubling projections every day. It's scary. It's scary. I'm not trying to hyperbolize here. But if we're not careful, it could quickly become a marketplace of a handful of big brands with strong balance sheets that have the burn rate and the cash reserves to withstand this pandemic. And when they come out on the other side, there's going to be nothing left but them. That's a terrifying thought. This comment coming in, Grace Australia is watching. She says, Jerry, I love your show. I try to watch it as much as possible. I'm excited to have Pro Renata. I'm excited to have your guest from Pro Renata on. I'll be sure to watch. We're planning on heading there this afternoon. I'm going to reach out to John now, Judah. I'm excited as well. You know, I said this yesterday, and I've caught in some flack from this. Okay? Everybody has their own situation, and we can't judge. I don't want you to throw shade on someone that's working really hard to open something. And if you don't agree with the opening, still support them by doing curbside and delivery. But don't throw shade because they're opening, because to each their own, and you don't know their respective circumstance. So we stay positive on the show. Live on 12 Facebook pages. Judah, it's ringing right now, and I need to get my earpiece in, so that's my fault. We're reaching out to you, John, if you're watching the program. We have him on the line. J-Dubs, do I have your thumbs up to go to him? John, I'm excited to welcome you to the program. You are looking sharp. You are live for Charlottesville. You got the branding going on there. I'm going to get out of your way. How about introduce yourself to Central Virginia?
Well, thanks very much, Jerry. Really appreciate all you're doing for the small businesses in the area and the breweries and the wineries. We need somebody like you out there being our advocate. So I'm John Schoeb. I'm one of the owners of Pro Renata Brewery. I came up with this great idea to open up a brewery here in Crozet, and it's been a great part of my life for the last 5 years. The last 2 months have been a bummer, but we're back open today. We're super positive. I've got my great staff back that, you know, without them, none of this happens. And we've got some people out here today. They're social distancing. We've got things spread apart. This is a tough time, but you know, this is going to make things better for everybody in this area. And other wineries and breweries that are opening up today, we wish them all the best. And if we're all in this together, and I'm feeling really positive about how things are going to be.
Well said. Andre Xavier, CVille Hop on Tours, watching the show. He's got a question for you. I'm going to relay that question to you. Actually, sure. You have a heck of a lot of people. You're a popular guy. My gosh. All right, guys, we're going to get to these for John here. All right, I'm going to give you some love here. I love your brand. I love your team. I love your beer. I love the space. My wife and I and our kid go there all the time. It's safe for kids. It's safe for families. You have the space. I mean, walk me through your thinking.
So, we had just opened up this new music venue that was here, and we had our opening night with chamomile and whiskey that was something I, in my wildest dreams, thought was going to be as successful as it was. And we had 5 incredible nights of concerts. And I've said to everybody in here, and then we shut down. If we hadn't had those 5 nights of concerts, I'd be in a mental institution at this point, trying to figure out, is this going to work or not? It worked. It worked great. It's going to come back. We're very fortunate with our location, and we've got 13 acres that we can spread out on. We've got 4 separate, outside areas that we can use. And just again, back to my staff, these guys, every single one of my staff has come back to work except for one. And a lot of these people have been with us from day one, and I take a lot of pride in that.
That's awesome. How about the thinking with your dental practice? I mean, because you're a Renaissance man. You don't oftentimes get a beer guy who loves music, who's a cool guy, who's also a dentist. That's you.
Yeah, well, my wife has a favorite saying. I've got a great wife. I'm a car guy, so I already had the midlife cars. And she says, seriously, most guys in a midlife crisis fix up their garage. You had to do this? So she's been really supportive, and there are 4 of us that own the brewery. It was 2 of us originally. I've got 3 other great partners that are in this with me. That are I'm the guy on the ground, and I love that aspect of it. It's great working with them.
What's been the feedback from your customers today?
So many people are excited to get out. I mean, people are coming in. We had one of the first couples that came in, they came in skipping. They were so excited. And we've changed everything. The buildings are only open for bathrooms. Gina, who's one of our owners, has spent hours and hours and hours creating the social distancing guidelines that the government has wanted us to implement to a T. We've got this place set up and ready to go. My guys have cleaned, scrubbed. Being a dentist, I'm in that field. I'm working in a dental office. We started back full time last Monday. We have to step our game up, and we're doing the same thing here. And I know the other places are doing it really well. I watched the interview you did yesterday with James King. What a class act and what they're doing over there. And Veritas, what they're doing, Blue Toad. We're all in this together, and this is an incredible business environment that people are helping each other. I don't want to see anybody fail, and neither do they. Well
said. Your boy Coda Curl is watching the interview right now. What's up, Coda?
Well, he's amazing.
He is amazing. Such a talented guy. And I remember when you had the opening, because Coda and his beautiful better half were here with Brian, and they played an epic song. I had a couple of your beers. I was feeling really good. They had a killer show at your venue. Judah, if you can find photos from his Facebook page of their new music venue to put on screen, that would be amazing. Talk to us about this. The timing was rough, right, of the launch, but the venue is epic.
The venue's really amazing. We're working with the Sound Live. Mark, an amazing job. And he has nitpicked every inch of this place, every corner. He walks around clapping, and he hears an echo someplace, and we've got to fix it. The equipment plus, he did all of that stuff. Brian went from Brian Combs, who's my right-hand man, couldn't do this without Brian. Used to have, he would search out bands and call them. Brian's like, as soon as the word got out about this venue, he's like, my phone is blowing up, and then it all shut down. So we started doing some live streams. We did one with Coda and Marie. We did another one a week later with Disco Risque, and Disco Risque killed it. We had full lights, sound, everything. They're an incredible group. We're looking to bring in other bands until we can have people inside continuing with these live streams. Super successful. All the money goes to our sound guys and the bands. Pro Nata's not taking a dime of it. We're just trying to support these bands and
I love it.
The people that work
for us. I love
how
you and Brian and your team have woven family and good beer and music and like this awesome spot in the county at once. I mean, it's a beautiful brand, John.
Thank you. So, and Pro Renata came up many years ago. My wife and I were on a sailboat, and it said Pro Renata. And I asked the guy, what is Pro Renata? And he said, I'm a neurosurgeon, and my wife hates me after work. Made me buy a sailboat, and I have to go sailing before he's allowed to go home. Now, that was the story years ago. How truthful it is, but I've always wanted to use that name for come to the brewery as needed. You don't have to drink a beer. We've got sodas, we've got food, we've got outdoor space. But it's I came up with a name, but the branding is my people. I mean, and Brian has a lot to do with it.
He's good. How about this topic? And I can just tell from Skype that you're the kind of guy I want to be around. The positivity and the high energy is coming through this broadcast, which is beautiful. The concept of positivity in this time, throw that to you.
Yeah, it's you gotta be. My crew's going to take what they see from me, and I want to be their leader. And but we sat down and we brought everybody back and said we're in a good position. We're going to survive this. I'm pretty frugal. I'm pretty tight. Things appropriately when we built this new building. And come on back, we're going to survive this. And if there's, we want to make sure everybody else does too. And that's why, we're supportive of all these other places. Hop on tours. Their bus just drove by here, and I think they were doing training routes. I can't wait to get John and his guys back here. They've done a business. Super smart guys.
Andre Xavier's watching from Hop On. He says, we love Pro Renata. Our Hop On guests absolutely love this venue and often request it. Chef Curtis Shaver, co-owner at Peloton Station, is watching. Brewmaster Dave Warwick at Three Notch is watching. What's up, Dave Warwick? I love Dave, too. How about this? And I know it's a day-by-day thing. How far out do you plan strategy? Or is it strictly like, we got to get through this weekend?
No, I mean, we have the four of us get on a phone and have a conversation. And we also have our general manager, Kelly Bauer, who used to be over at King Family and now is here with us, who's got great insight into the business, the wedding planning and so forth. I mean, we're looking right now, we're planning a month out of what we're going to do. And Gina's really in charge of that stuff. She's got the vision and understands the regulations. Again, I've got a full-time job too. So I've got to have people around me that I trust that can do and make these decisions while I'm off playing dentist.
Well said.
So at least a month, who knows? But that's why we're ramping up these live streams. We're booking more bands for these live streams because we don't know when we're going to be able to get them in, and I don't know how long these bands can survive.
I love it. You now have 4 different local breweries watching you on this program. Welcome Decipher, Star Hill, and South Street to the show. Landon Saul, hello. We'll talk to you very shortly from the patio at Vivace. All right, so what we do, we went to your Facebook page, we saw those awesome photos that you put, and those photos depicted safety and an opportunity to enjoy Pro Renata. Judah, our director, is now putting those photos on screen. If you could be like a Joe Buck and give us the play-by-play of what to expect here.
Super. Let's see the picture.
So you won't be able to see them, but the viewers will. Yeah, so they're on screen now. Tell us.
Sounds good. So we've roped off certain areas. We have the shipping container bar out back. We've got probably 15 or 20 tables separated by about 20 feet out there each. We've got things on the floors, for arrows on the floors directing to bathrooms. We're trying to do things on a one-way in and another way out. We've got our staffs all wearing masks and gloves. We've got disinfecting tables everywhere. We've got one person taking orders of beers and the other person's actually filling them so that there's independent contact there. We're asking patrons to actually bust their own tables to protect our own people. They're dropping things off in bins, and then we're taking them gloved and masked to our cleaning facilities. And people have been super good about it. They get it. People understand the situation that we're in right now. But we've got front areas are all chained off so that you can get from the front patio area all the way back to the pharmacy. We've got ABC regulations about walking through the parking lot, so we've chained everything off there. But again, separate entrances for going into bathrooms and out. And our guys are all walking around with cleaning bottles and towels constantly.
Shannon, welcome to the program. Shannon Ranson, she's a barkeep at Fry Springs. Your team is so talented. You have staffers answering questions on the live feed. Gina Greer just said, Andre, she's answering questions. Andre, we are not requiring masks. Ordering is from outdoor walk-up windows, and we're encouraging guests to wear masks when they go inside to restrooms. Thank you, Gina. Well done, Gina, answering questions for the guests, so I don't even have to. Yeah.
Gina thinks of things well before I even
I like that, Gina. Okay, throw this question to you. You're a man of vision, okay? You're a business owner of two businesses. We got Keith, the owner at Hotcakes, watching as well. Let's just throw out some advice from you, John. Like, what do we do here? What happened? I know that's a tough question. What do we do here? Yeah. I'll get out of your way.
I sent you a text yesterday. There are a lot of businesses that aren't as fortunate to have this. If there's something we can, because we have the outside space and all they have is indoor seating. If you can come out and do something here and we can help you, there's no charge for any of this. We're just doing this to make sure that, the restaurants that I go to survive, the dry cleaners that I go to, or the pottery people that we buy stuff from, that they can make their payments on things. And we're in negotiations with some of these people to come out and use our space, and hopefully we can do something for the community to make sure that they make it.
That's beautiful. When did that idea come up?
I was watching some of the stuff that you did with the parking lots downtown, and that's kind of I thought about it maybe a little before that, about maybe it was something in the back of my head that I got, but you've got some place like 50 acres, and Pro Nata that's got 13 to 14 acres. If we can have some other businesses come out here and set up pop-up stuff, I'm all in. We all are here. I go out to eat every single day at a restaurant. As I leave my dental office, go out, and I have a round that I do in Crozet. I've reached out to all those restaurants. If there's something we can do here at Pro Nata to help you and give you some space and sell some food, do some delivery,
dude, this guy is a cool guy. I love this guy right here. All right, what's on the loop? I'm dying to know what's on John's loop of restaurants.
Oh, Sam's Hot Dog is one of my favorites. Trey, Ricky over there are awesome. Love them. We've got a bunch of new Mexican restaurants here. I go to Smoked all the time. I'm only allowed to go to Sam's Hot Dogs once in a while because I'm not good when I go in there.
Is that a rule from the wife?
She tracks where I go, so I don't admit going to Sam's a lot but it's stupid good. Anybody needs to go out there. It's
Your
awesome.
wife tracks where you go too. So does mine. I love you, sweetheart. I know you're watching right. All right, final word, John. You're killing this interview. Anywhere you want to go, you got a lot of people watching. Anything you want to say, the show is yours.
Again, I just want to go back to the staff that we have here. I want to send out a shout to Judy and to Kelly. Judy has taken over. Judy Smirlitzer is a local Crozet lady who has just stepped up. There isn't an inch of this place that isn't spotless and clean. Kelly has just given us a lot of insight into other businesses in the area and her thoughts on how we survive and we make things work. My partners are great. I'm positive. I think this is all going to work out. I really do. If we play this smart, we're all going to be back to where we need to be. And, it's really made me appreciate things that I had in here, and there were 300 or 400 people in the brewery. I'm like, oh, this is unbelievable. I can't wait till those days happen again. I can't wait.
Amen, brother. I love you, man. I love your energy. You made a lot of people brighter today. Thank you so much for your time.
Right. Thanks very much, sir. Appreciate it, and everybody stay safe.
All right. You have a good one, John. Take care.
Thank you.
It was so good. Gina says, shout out to Just Tech and Crozet for providing Be Smart stand apart 6 foot markers. Yes, thank you, Janet. Thank you, Gina, for putting that in the stream. Shannon says, I like hearing the precautions happening at PRN. And that's coming from a barkeep with very high standards. I think that's safe to say, Shannon. John crushed it. Pro Nata, punch the like button right now for PRN. Hammer that like button for John. Give it a like and a share. I love what PRN is doing, okay? I love what PRN is doing. Open safely. Opening strategically. It's smart. And the parking lot idea he's mentioned, did you hear what he just said? Pro Nata, at no charge, will help local businesses in the community and say, you can leverage our land, utilize our land for your business at no charge to you. That is a community partner. Punch the like button for Pro Nata. Use our land, businesses in Charlottesville and Crozet and Central Virginia, if you need some help at no charge to you. And he mentions the parking lot story. The parking lot is I was suggesting to Lloyd Snook and Charlottesville City Council, and I've been doing this for a while, to take the parking lots in the city of Charlottesville that are tied to the restaurants and open them up for dining service. The city of Charlottesville is at a huge disadvantage compared to Albemarle County with outdoor patio space and land around the businesses. 85 restaurants, wineries, and breweries are open today in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. I can count on one hand, actually, I can count on two hands how many are open in the city, literally less than 10, and how many are open in the county, 76. So if 76 businesses, restaurants, breweries, and vineyards, and wineries, if 76 businesses open in the county that fall in that category, and 9 open in the city of Charlottesville, what does that tell you? It tells you the city of Charlottesville does not have the patio space or the land to safely open with a lot of its businesses, but the county does. If I'm a city councilor right now, Heather Hill, Mayor Walker, Michael Payne, Sina McGill, Lloyd Snook, I would be very concerned about losing temporary market share to the county in the meals tax. And you can't afford to lose any market share right now if you're the city of Charlottesville because your budget for 2021 is already $8 million behind because of a pandemic. Think quickly. Parking lots and beer garden downtown mall. I'll get to that. Let me get to Landon Saul. Landon Saul, we're calling you, baby. Judah, it's ringing for Landon Saul. I'm giving you a heads up here. This dude is good people. He's got the handlebar mustache, the best mustache in the business. From the patio at Vivace, I have him on the line. I'm so excited to talk with this guy. Landon, let's get that camera on so we can see that mustache, your smiling face. I can't wait to talk to you, my friend. Do we have you, Landon? Baby, we got you there? Yeah, I'm seeing, yeah, Landon, what up, dog? How you living? How are you doing, Landon?
Doing great, doing great.
Yeah? I'll get out of your way. Tell us your strategy for reopening.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, that's right.
Tell us about reopening. You're a little behind right now with the audio you're picking up. Give us your reopening plans.
It's going really well. We've got the patios ready to go. We got the tables spaced out. We've got 3 cases of hand sanitizer. So, our staff's been extremely supportive. We've got a fantastic crew here at Vivace. I can't say enough about them. My partner Jeff's been working nonstop along with myself to get everything spotless and clean, and we power washed everything inside and out, so we're ready to go, man.
I love it. Walk us through the decision making. Tough decision, right?
It has been. It's been an extremely tough 3 months, I guess you could say, and we've had to change our entire business strategy multiple times to accommodate, everything that's going on. And, we welcomed it and tried to adapt as much as possible. We switched to online ordering and delivery, which was totally new for us. Our customers have bared with us because, certainly it's been a challenge. So, we're moving forward. We're trying to adapt and adjust to these difficult times.
You got a message right here from Laura Monk. Jerry, please tell your guests our family will be visiting Vivace tonight. We love his restaurant, and we're so eager to be there. Great. More messages like that coming in right there for Landon Saul. I'm going to get to these messages here. I got a couple more questions for you. You're a popular guy. All right, talk to us about X's and O's for opening here. Give us some nitty-gritty insight.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, normally we have 4 separate patios. Normally we seat about 140, I believe. I think we're looking to seat about 50 people at a time tonight. We pretty much know everyone that's coming. They're really good customers, which is typical for us, and we're very fortunate to have a loyal clientele. So we're just going to set kind of every other table. So they're definitely going to be more than 6 feet apart, probably 8 to 10 feet apart. And, we're just going to kind of take it slow and kind of ease into it a bit. We're still offering curbside pickup. We stopped delivery tonight and tomorrow just to make sure that things run smoothly and everything is top notch. We're doing fried Virginia oysters tonight, and I've got ramps and morel mushrooms from my local forager. And my sous chef Logan Cummings is back there working really hard to make sure everything is going smoothly. So we're ready to go.
So what are you thinking, like 150 covers, potentially?
Yeah, I mean, which is a little low for us, but, I mean, I'm totally happy with that.
Yeah, first day?
And, we'll probably do another 100 and take out, which is good.
Questions coming in. This is a good one. This is from Shannon. She watches the show often. She's a barkeep at Fry Spring Station. Will you guys stick to reservations, or can we walk in?
There will be some walk-in, but reservations are highly, highly recommended. And you can just call the restaurant and make a reservation at 434-979-0994. Or you.
Tim said, "I'm calling your restaurant now." Or do we expect? It sounds like from what I'm watching here that demand is there. Is there demand?
It's huge. The demand's huge. We're very fortunate. The love in CVille is huge. I can't tell you. I mean, the support in this past 3 months has been unbelievable. It's our customers really make this place what it is, and we're very lucky.
How about this question? The team members, your team members have risen to the occasion. Give us some insight into that struggle.
From day one, I mean, they've all been really grinding, and I really appreciate that. We all have been, and pretty much working nonstop. I mean, most of us are lucky to get maybe one day off, and even that we're working. So, it's everybody's been working hard and adapting to what's going on. Our servers have been our delivery drivers, which has been a new game, but they grabbed their iPhones and they went out and delivered food to people. And I think that's awesome because they're willing to do that.
This question coming in from Jacob. He says, we're going to be coming in tonight. Is your full menu in play? If not, when will it be?
So the only things we don't currently have available is going to be the mussels and the clams, which we will be getting next week. I'm doing the calamari, and we're doing fried Virginia oysters tonight. So pretty much everything except for clams, mussels, and
more questions coming in for Landon. This is from Barbara. Happy hour and cocktails. Will they be available?
We're definitely doing cocktails on the patio. Not so sure about the happy hour because that's usually a bar thing. So imagine the cocktails probably won't be a happy hour situation.
People are asking about your wonderful popcorn right now, Landon.
Answer that.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I think we could probably make some popcorn happen.
Okay, people are asking about his popcorn. All right, we'll let you go here, and you're getting props. Dude, this is great. I want to relay this to you. You're getting props from staff at other restaurants thanking you for running the restaurant this way. Literally right now on the feed. This is beautiful. Can you give us...
It's a tough decision. It's a tough decision. But our staff's been amazing, and I love everybody and everybody in the community, and I totally respect everyone's different decisions based on their different situations. It has not been an easy choice for anyone.
How about this? Can we get, and we'll close on this note because I think you're going to be packed tonight. Can you show us the patios with the phone?
Yeah, I can actually. So this is our upper patio, which you see behind me.
Nice.
And behind me, which is obviously very sunny,
Yeah.
is our lower patio. And then behind me is our bistro area. And then, if you bear with me one
Sure.
moment, our newly renovated octagon space,
Nice.
which has been my crowning achievement this year. So we have a tent
Beautiful.
over that, and plenty of spaced out tables there.
You're doing it right, man.
Yeah, that's right. We're ready to go, man.
I wish you the best of luck. I think you're going to be packed.
We're happy. Yes, sir. I appreciate your support, Jerry, and everything you do for our community.
Thank you, man.
We definitely feeling the love today for sure.
All right, man. Nice. Well, I wish you the best. I hope you have a good one, homie.
All right.
Thank you, Landon. Great guy. I love the tour. Punch the like button for Vivace Restaurant. Give Vivace a like right now on any of the 12 Facebook pages you're watching this show on. Come on, Will, Connie. I see you, baby. Give it a like, guys. Doing it the right way. Don't throw shade. Doing it the right way. Tables more than 6 feet apart. You heard him say it. Tables more than 6 feet apart. Reservations strongly encouraged. I bet you he does 200 covers tonight. You know what? I'll put the over-under at 150 covers. Covers are people. In the restaurant, it's people. 150 covers for Vivace tonight. I'll put the over-under at 150. 150 is a push. What are you guys taking? Put it in the feed. Over or under 150 tickets, 150 people at Vivace. I'm taking the over. Judah, are you taking the over or under on that? You take the under or the over? I'll take the over. You got over 150? Good. I'm taking the over as well. Lauren Linsky says she loved that tour, Landon Saul. I love that tour as well. We're going to get Aleen on the show here in T-minus 5 minutes. I want to dot the I's and cross the T's on this topic that is obviously gaining some momentum here. I put a long thread about this on my Facebook page yesterday and also on I Love CVille. In fact, it's this story here with the city councilors on ilovecville.com. Read that. What's happening is the county is getting all the reopened business. 76 of the 85 businesses in restaurants, vineyards, and wineries that are reopening today, 76 of them are in the county. 9 of them are in the city of Charlottesville. This is going to do this will devastate the 2021 budget for the city of Charlottesville. Further devastated. So if I was on council and if I was the mayor of Charlottesville, I would be thinking strategically of what I can do to help offset the losses that are happening with the budget and see that the business is moving very quickly to the county. And if I was on council, what I would do is I got to be innovative and creative and entrepreneurial, and I got to say, look, I got to try to capture this business because our budget, which impacts our teachers, our budget, which impacts our police officers, our budget, which impacts the quality of our schools, our budget, which impacts our EMTs, our budget, which impacts our firemen, our roads, our bridges, the looks of our trees, and I guess our budget impacts everything. So the thing that impacts and drives the city of Charlottesville roughly $200 million a year is in the you-know-what. I was going to say a bad word, but I'm trying not to use profanities on the show, because a friend encouraged me to do so, and I'm listening to her because I respect her. But the budget is in trouble. So if I was the city and I was council and I was city hall, I would say, how do we capture the business that is sprinting for Albemarle County and keep it somehow in Charlottesville? That's a tough question. I think it's taking the parking lots at the restaurants and opening them up for dining and then converting the downtown mall to a beer garden. But read it on ilovecville.com. Let's go to Aleen right now. Aleen Carey. I'm excited to welcome her to the program. Judah, I'm Skyping her now. Shoot, I guess I got to put my headset in. We have you! Do we have you? Oh my gosh, can we get that? Let's get that camera on. Judah, obviously she's on the line. Let's get that camera on so we can see your beautiful face. Yes, we made it work. We made it work. All right, finally, I know. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. You are live for Charlottesville. You're live for Central Virginia. You have somebody watching right now in Long Island, someone in Louisville, someone in Arlington. Okay, a lot of folks in Charlottesville. I'm going to get out of your way. Introduce yourself personally to the viewing public.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aleen Carey, and I am a Charlottesville resident. My family has lived here since 1994, so I'm not a native Charlottesvillian, but I've been here for quite a long time, except for when I went to JMU. I got to say,
go Dukes! Go
right?
Dukes!
Yeah. Especially if you've got a lot of people listening from other places in Charlottesville. I know people are Duke Dog proud. So I work for an organization called Cultivate Charlottesville, and it's made of 3 programs that people might be more familiar with: City Schoolyard Garden, Urban Agriculture Collective, and Food Justice Network. So those 3 programs together make up Cultivate Charlottesville. And we are an integrated approach to a healthy and just food system here in Charlottesville. So we work individually with city school students. We have gardens at all of the city schools. We work in communities, especially public and subsidized housing communities. So you're talking about places like Friendship Court, 6th Street Garden, South 1st Street, West Haven, different places like that. And then the Food Justice Network arm of what we do is all about working with the city. So working with city councilors. You were just talking about the city councilors and what's going to be on their plate coming up. We have worked with the individual city departments as well to be thinking about food. It has not really been on their plate, so to speak. Throw a little pun in there, but we are working with residents of the city to amplify voices and make sure that food access is an issue that the city is taking seriously, and they have really, especially the council members and the city department heads have really been working very, very hard with us on that.
Well, great answer. Just hit a grand slam on our first answer right there. Hammer the like button, guys, on any of the 12 Facebook pages you're watching the show on. Let's talk about the concept of equitable food and the concept of having the infrastructure and resources in play to offset food deserts that undeniably exist in Charlottesville. Despite what people want to really understand, there are food deserts in Charlottesville. I want to talk about that with you. We had Anthony Horo on the show, the executive director of the Thomas Jefferson Area Coalition for the Homeless, and we were talking about how the homeless population is already overlooked, but in a pandemic, it's overlooked even more. I would think that mindset applies to a lot of what you're seeing, and that's what you're trying to offset.
Yeah. So Charlottesville, obviously, and the surrounding areas, again, you've been talking about on your show as folks are thinking about reopening their food-based businesses. We're known as a foodie area, a foodie town where people have access to vineyards, to world-class meals. And so that's what a lot of people think about when they think about Charlottesville. But at the same time, there is a high percentage of food insecurity here in Charlottesville. So our Virginia state average is 11% of people who face food insecurity, but in Charlottesville, it's 17%. Wow. In the city of Charlottesville, that's not including the counties. In the city of Charlottesville, it's 17%. So that shows that it really is an issue here, that we have this dichotomy of people who are able to access food and people who are not. Part of what the Food Justice Network does in talking to the city and working with the city on policies is looking at the different areas that make that true. Part of it is things that were done long before we existed right now. Our organization existed is what I'm trying to say. So when you think about the redevelopment of Vinegar Hill that moved grocery stores and other businesses where people were able to access fresh food, it demolished that. So looking at things like transportation and how easy it is for someone to get to a grocery, things like that are all part of what we work with. The Food Justice Network works with city council and city departments on right now. And again, understanding that there is a lot here as far as resources, but not everyone has access to those resources, and the percentage is higher than people might think.
I had this conversation, and I would love to pick that beautiful brain of yours on this topic here. I had this conversation with a buddy about school system and the opportunities for youngsters. Look at me, I said the word youngsters. I'm turning it into an old man here. The opportunity for students when they go to school, some of them, this is their food. This is how they feed themselves for a day when they go to school. And then taking away the opportunity to have school in person is really impacting a lot of kids that kind of don't have the resources they should have. Can I throw that topic to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the city, again, this number is just for the city, but the percentage of students who are eligible for free and reduced meals, the average is 52%. Some of the schools have a higher percentage depending on where they're located and the resources that are available to them. So the city schools and our organization, Cultivate Charlottesville, have partnered with a lot of different people during this time. Really, the city schools have been able to work to feed the students and make sure that people have access to meals. They took spring break off to get their kitchens deep cleaned. And so Cultivate Charlottesville and our work through the Food Justice Network stepped in. We had donations from an anonymous donor and from the Chris Long Foundation to be able to work with Mochico and Pearl Island Catering to make sure the students had meals that week. And then we delivered them to certain places around the city for students and their family members to come and get that food. But really, the city has been doing most of that work. PB&J has been instrumental. That organization does a lot of summer feeding, a lot of summer meals, I should say, for students and their families. And so they've pivoted, as so many organizations have in the time of COVID, they've pivoted to be able to provide meals to the community right now instead of, only doing it during the summer. And so they have a great operation going on. I would say there's a website called supportcville.org, and that has so much information for right now about COVID, about ways that people can get involved if they are able and healthy and have the access to volunteer, ways that people can donate money to different organizations, not just ours, but people who are coming together to make things easier for folks in this time of need.
Well played. Cultivate Charlottesville, what are you most proud of? That you've seen in this, 60-day window where everything's been turned upside down and we're just trying to cling to some hope? I would love to hear some hope and positivity here. What are you most proud of here?
I think the way our organization has pivoted has come together to, normally the students are out in the gardens, so they would be harvesting food and they make salads, make salsa, eat right there. We've been able to take some of the leafy greens that are already ready for harvest and use those in the produce that's given out to residents around the city. So that's not what we normally do, but this is not a normal time for anyone. So we're able to capitalize on the resources that we have and the people. So we have garden coordinators who are going in by themselves instead of having the students to help with them. They're going in by themselves and maintaining those gardens right now. And that's a definite pivot for us to make sure that we have, some way of still using that fresh produce and providing fresh produce to people who would normally get it from us. We have just officially launched as Cultivate. So April 22nd was the day that our 3 programs became Cultivate Charlottesville. And that was supposed to be an in-person event where we were going to plant a tree from Friendship Court at one of the school gardens. So our entire team has come together, learned how to do Zoom webinar, learned how to do Instagram Live, so that we've had all of our events over the last 4 weeks.
Wait! You planted the tree on Zoom?
I wish we were in the garden, but we didn't plant the tree. We didn't, because that takes getting the city parks and rec and everyone else, and so we were able to just be there and talk about what's been going on. But I think our whole staff is really proud of how we've maintained what we normally do, even though we're sad to not have the students and all of the community members in the gardens working with us. We're still having meetings with the city council. We're still having meetings with people, and at the same time also participating in the emergency food response for what's going on with COVID. So we just have a great staff. There's about 17 of us. Everyone is doing a little bit of extra right now and really doing some more than they would normally do. I have been potting and helping with seedlings, and I'm the least qualified gardener.
No way! You have a green thumb.
No, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So we've all been, doing something a little extra to make sure that we're still able to do what we're doing. And that even involves working on the PPP and putting in extra time to do that. So there's a definite feeling of camaraderie with us all, trying to make it through this time and just provide our boss has also provided some mental health resources for us. So we were able to meet as a team with a consultant and then have individual sessions as well to make sure that people are feeling as healthy as possible mentally as well as we're going through this tough time.
Nice. How can you got a lot of people watching. We're live on 12 Facebook pages. The show's going to live forever online. We're going to syndicate it for 2 weeks across our network here. I got to ask you this question. How can we help? How can the community rally around Cultivate Charlottesville?
Right now, it is difficult because we don't have volunteers coming out in the way that we normally would, but learning about what we have to offer is a great way to get started. Our website, brand new website, cultivatecharlottesville.org. Charlottesville is all spelled out, so cultivatecharlottesville.org. And that takes you into how we look at food equity and what we're all about, and the fact that we've got the school gardens, the community gardens, and the policy work that we're doing. So I would say one of the most important things is getting educated and understanding what has happened in our history and what continues to happen that allows for food inequity, because that is a huge part of what's going on here. So getting educated about those issues and then trying to figure out different ways that you can support gardens. So there's always monetary donations. Any nonprofit is going to say, definitely, please donate to us. If you're interested in doing that during COVID specifically, again, supportcville.com has our website on there as well as other pages to which people can donate. But getting involved in the process of what we're doing with the city as well. When we have city council meetings again, they will at some point in time, be live, making sure that people are there to support the ideas of what we're about.
You crushed this interview. You are really, really good in this setting. You have, and also as someone who's self-conscious of you have a beautiful smile and beautiful teeth as well. I just want to let you know that.
I had great.
It turned out well. Okay. Final word time. You get to go anywhere you want to go. You can talk about anything you want to talk about. Obviously, we have a lot on the plate right now with reopening and what uncertainty. But the show is yours. Anywhere you want to go.
Well, again, I would just say check out our Facebook page, check out our Instagram and our website to find out a little bit more about the organization, especially if you only knew City Schoolyard Garden or you only knew Food Justice Network, and how we're coming together, all three programs, to work towards food access so that we have this healthy and just food system. And then I would just say, right now during COVID, we're doing what we can to keep things going. So on our Facebook and Instagram, we're showing different garden coordinators. So if you have a student who has been in the garden at one of the city schools, be sure to look out for that and show your students that we are still participating and waiting for a time when we can all be together again.
Nice. I'm so grateful for your time. You did a heck of a job here at the interview. Thank you. The team will send you the interview later today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jerry.
All right,
Take care.
Take care as well. Excellent work by our team and our guests today. We're nearing a wrap on a Friday edition of the I Love CVille show. Feeling good. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic. I see businesses opening. I see people getting out. I see people doing it safely, encouraging you to wear your mask and to social distance. but I'm cautiously optimistic about this phase one restart. And that's who I am, a cautious optimist in general. I'm also a realist. This is the I Love CVille show. It airs Monday through Friday from 12:30 to 1:30 on the I Love CVille network. We'll close with this. Stay positive. If you choose to get out and support the 85 businesses that are open in Charlottesville and Albemarle County, do it. Do it safely. Do it the right way. If you don't want to go out because you're uncertain, that's fine too. But don't throw shade at the people that are doing it. If you don't want to go out because you're uncertain, I have no problem. Do the takeout, the delivery, and the curbside to support the businesses like you already have. We'll get through it together. I promise. It's the I Love CVille show. Take care.